Imagine being trusted to protect the nation's most important leaders and then using that trust to steal millions from the very country you sought to serve.
Attached to the finance section of the Protection and Security Service and allegedly used his access to the finance system to withdraw monies running into millions. An investigation has uncovered that he manipulated the system to book out cash for himself under the disguise that the money was meant for traveling expenses for close protectors attached to the Presidential Protection Services. Further investigation uncovered that the money was not received by the close protectors but booked out in lump sum cash amounts by the member.
Everything discussed in this video is based on allegations and reports from authorities and the media. None of the claims have been proven in the court of law, and the accused is presumed innocent until proven guilty. This is the shocking story of a South African Police Services captain, a high-ranking officer in the elite Presidential Protection Unit, who allegedly siphoned off 5 million rands from state coffers. How did he do it? Who was supposed to catch him? And why did the money never reach the people it was meant for? Stay with us. This is a story of power, betrayal, and corruption at the very top. But first, let's rewind the clock to see how it all began.
Following a lengthy investigation, a case of fraud was registered at the Sunnyside Police Station, and an internal departmental investigation has led to his suspension. The National Commission of SAPS, General Masemola, has applauded the Financial Management Division for identifying and uprooting criminality within our ranks and has assigned the SAPS Anti-Corruption Unit to investigate the matter. The SAPS takes this opportunity to assure the nation that it has stringent measures in place to ensure taxpayers' monies are utilized in service to the nation and that the SAPS will not tolerate fraud and corruption within its ranks. No close protector attached to the President, Deputy President
Johannes Jansen van Rensberg, 52 years old, a captain in the South African Police Services, wasn't just any officer. He was stationed in one of the most sensitive units, the Protection and Security Services, responsible for guarding top officials, including the President of our country, Cyril Ramaphosa. From March 2024 to March 2026, authorities say he allegedly orchestrated a scheme that would shock even seasoned investigators. How? By exploiting his access to the SAPS finance system. According to the National Prosecuting Authority, he booked out money under the guise of travel expenses of elite bodyguards attached to the Presidential Protection Services. But here's the catch: the money never reached these protectors. Instead, it disappeared into accounts he controlled. A total amount of 4 million rands in fraud and 1 million rands in theft, all while serving in one of the most trusted units in the country. No crime stays hidden forever, especially not when millions are missing. It all began when the finance division noticed irregular transactions in their system. Someone was manipulating the books, someone was stealing from the very heart of the state's security apparatus. The Financial Management Services launched an internal investigation, and it didn't take long before all eyes turned to one man, Captain Jansen van Rensberg. On April 6, 2026, he was arrested at his home, but despite the scale of the alleged theft, he was granted bail of only 50,000 rands. Why? Authorities argued he had no prior convictions and he was not a flight risk and was unlikely to interfere with the investigation. The case was postponed to July 30, 2026, giving prosecutors time to untangle the web of fraud.
Not likely to induce a sense of shock or outrage in the community where the offence was committed, which might lead to public disorder if I'm released. My safety would not be jeopardized if I'm released. My release will not undermine or jeopardize the sense of peace and security among the members of the public. My release will not undermine or jeopardize the public confidence in the criminal system. I have already been in custody since the 6th of April 2026. If I'm not released on bail, I would probably remain in custody for a further period of several weeks or months until the matter is heard again, whereafter I will be kept in custody until the disposal or conclusion of the trial. I have no fault with regard to any delay in the disposal or conclusion of the trial. My detention has also a severe negative impact on the preparation of my defence. And I accordingly respectfully submit that I have discharged the onus of proof as imposed by the Criminal Procedure Act and prove to this Honourable Court that the interest of justice permit and justify my release on bail.
Now let's break down the alleged scheme. He had access to the system. As a captain in the finance section, he had permissions few others could touch. And then manipulation. He allegedly booked out cash, marking it as travel expenses for high ranking protectors. And then number three, it was disguise. Each transaction was disguised to look official, fooling internal controls for months. And then diversion. Instead of reaching the intended bodyguards, the money was allegedly siphoned off for personal use. And then discovery. A routine check flagged anomalies. The clock started ticking for investigators, and the web of deceit began to unravel. Think about it. Someone entrusted with national security allegedly betraying the trust for personal gain. Now let's zoom in on the most chilling part of this story. This was not a small time theft. 5 million rands allegedly disappeared under the noses of some of the country's most senior law enforcement officials. Every withdrawal was meant to appear legitimate, every approval forged in the shadow of trust. But what happens when an elite officer abuses that trust? It exposes the gaps in oversight, the holes in a system meant to safeguard the country's finances. And while the public demands accountability, the authorities are walking a tightrope between justice and public confidence. The NPA has vowed they are committed to ensuring accountability and the effective prosecution of corruption and financial crimes within state institutions. The alleged theft is not just numbers on a screen, it's millions that could have funded critical services. It raises a chilling concern. If those tasked with protecting the state can allegedly divert funds undetected, what does that mean for ordinary citizens? This case shines a light on oversight in elite SAPS units, the vulnerability of internal financial systems, and the need for accountability at every level. Many South Africans are asking, was this an isolated case? Could there be more officers hiding similar schemes? We don't know. For now, all eyes are on the court. On July 30, 2026, the case will resume and the nation will demand answers. This is the story of power, betrayal, and the cost of corruption. Captain Johannes Jansen van Rensberg, a man entrusted with the nation's most sensitive security responsibility, now stands accused of one of the most audacious frauds in recent memory. The investigation is far from over, and as the trial unfolds, more questions will emerge than answers. One thing is clear: when trust is broken at the highest level, the consequences ripple through the entire nation. Do you think this could have been prevented should the SAPS elite units face tighter scrutiny? Comment below and let the conversation begin. And if you like stories like this, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so that whenever I post a video, you'll be notified. And this is True Crime with Zuku's Folktale. See you on the next case.